Excellence is a journey where the weak lurk in shadows. Yet my blade burns stronger. One by one, I smother them. I reap their flames. Let them fear me. In the midst of war, I breathe fire.
The Zhanhu are a bit of a mixed bag. They came around as the last hero in Year 3, and audience response was very mixed. Some loved their unique feel, playstyle, and interesting toolkit, and others, and by others I mean most, folks felt that he was a weak and bland hero with an unbalanced niche that makes it very hard to counter and allows for incessant, unblockable spamming. But don't worry, we'll get to that later. So, who are the Zhanhu? Well, Zhanhu can translate to war tiger or slang tiger, depending on the Chinese characters used. However, I think that they're based on the Jin Yi Wei. Jin Yi Wei were the Ming Dynasty secret police and later became a military body. They were handpicked from the military or from childhood to be trained in special martial arts, and they were given permission to carry special weapons and had special privileges. They had authority to overrule judicial proceedings and prosecutions and could take control of arrests, interrogations, and punishment for any citizen of China. This included nobles and imperial family members. They were literally that, not to make another communist joke, but they were literally the big brother. They were literally the eyes in the shadows that watched you and had the right to make you disappear if you broke the law. They could interfere in any judicial proceedings. Like I said, they were the judge, jury, and executioner in many cases. And even if you were a noble, you were not safe. Along with these privileges, the Jin Yi Wei were also military intelligence gatherers and battle planners. A good pop culture equivalent would, and I know that I keep referencing them with the Wulin, but yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, we see the Dai Li. They were earthbending secret police in Ba Sing Se who worked for a specific leader and worked in the shadows to arrest people, erase their minds, or make people disappear. Even their clothing looks similar to Zhanhu, so there has to be some kind of connection here. And I think the Dai Li make an excellent parallel to what the Zhanhu were like. So did the Zhanhu come close to the Jin Yi Wei or to the Dai Li? Well, very much so. According to the lore, they were once right hands of the imperial family. They were alchemists and military soldiers who mastered the use of explosives and pyrotechnics. They used their long Changdao blades to keep enemies at a distance and burn them with their fire-based toolkit. They certainly come off as secret soldiers in their trailer, don't they? But just how good are the Zhanhu? Are they worth the hype? Well, let's start by looking at their weapon and arms. In terms of armor, Zhanhu is wearing a silk garment here with embroidery, and it looks very fashionable but not very good for defense. It looks like it's made of silk, and silk is not great defensively. The hat he's wearing is an official hat, which provides no protection in battle. The cuirass he's wearing, though, appears to be made of lamellar, which is actually decent defense. You can see the cuirass that wraps around the front and back. And along with this, he has some shoulder and arm defensive wear, all very nice and useful for the Zhanhu in terms of defense. The weapon, however, is a bit more unique. This is what's called a Changdao, and I'll be 100% honest with you folks, it's just a straight odachi like we saw with the Kensei. Now, the Zhanhu uses it in a different way, but the weapon is essentially the same. It's long and straight but with a single cutting edge, and the weapon is, well, it's a great front line tool. It's a great tool that you would use on the front lines of battle. In fact, there's historical precedent to suggest that the Changdao and Miao Dao, which was very similar to it, were just swords used by infantrymen on the front lines, just like the Nodachi was, because it's long and can strike from a distance. It's a great front line tool. I'd go so far as to say that considering the two fighting styles, Zhanhu would have made a much more sensible vanguard for the Wulin, while Tiandi would have been a hybrid of assassins and vanguards. This weapon is meant to keep an enemy at a distance. Supposedly, it saw popularity in the Tang and Ming dynasty and is often referenced as a Mo Dao or Miao Dao or long broadsword. It's effective, and the thickness of the sword is impressive, but a weapon like this is not what I'd give the secret police of China. It's more like an infantry vanguard weapon. If I were to give a weapon to the secret police of China, I might give them a Jiang straight sword, which I wish they'd add to For Honor. That's a really cool sword. I wish that they'd add that. But whatever, still very cool. And now, let me show you mine. Yep, and with this one, you see that it's a female. It's much more embroidered. It's got some gold lining for the embroidery and still silk clothing. There are different armor sets you can give her that look a lot more like protective armor wear, but I don't know, I really thought that she looked beautiful with this, and I really wanted to go for the beauty aspect. Also, if you look closer at the face, a lot of faces have burn marks on them to show their skill with pyrotechnics and using fire, and we'll talk about that some other time. We're not going to go too much into the toolkit right now, because if I did that, then I'd have to go back and do the toolkit for all the other heroes, but at some point I will do a video discussing hero toolkits. As for the weapon, this is what the weapon looks like. Again, it's only bladed on one side. It's got a bit of a serrated part near the bottom, and the handle is very much decorative. Still very, very cool. I still like it. I think it's beautiful, and just like all of the new heroes from year 3, she has her ornaments on the shoulders, which I gave her some dragon ornaments. Okay, so now that we've gone over the Zhanhu, let's talk about how they fight. So let's describe Zhanhu in one word: flowing. Everything about the way Zhanhu moves is flowing and silky smooth. It looks like a dance, and it should. The Zhanhu is a unique hero, and the devs said that they were trying to make their moveset be near limitless. The Zhanhu is like a Zhanhu in that any attack following the first one is unblockable, but unlike the Zhanhu, even the second light is unblockable. You heard me right, Zhanhu has unblockable lights. So let's demonstrate. Or, now, as you just noticed, the unblockable heavy is a little bit slower and easier to block, but those unblockable lights are much harder. Alright, so, what I like to do because of those slower heavies is I like to feint out of them so that I can actually get my opponent off guard with a guard break. Once I get them in the guard break, I can then kick them around or land a free heavy attack, because Zhanhu is one of the few heroes who can get a free heavy after a guard break. Now, of course, there are other aspects of Zhanhu than just this, and they're worth mentioning. Zhanhu does have access to an infinite combo, but only until she does a second static attack. What do I mean? Well, if I start the attack with a light and follow with a heavy or light, the following attack will be unblockable, and that ends the combo. But if I do a light, then dodge light, then another dodge heavy, then a zone attack, then another dodge heavy, and then a static heavy, the last heavy will be unblockable. I'll demonstrate. So that's the normal combo. And I can keep it going as long as I want until I do another static stop. So as you can see, once I did the static stop light, that was when it became unblockable and the combo ended. As long as none of the attacks following the first are static, the following attacks will keep the combo going. This is fundamental, as it allowed Zhanhu to keep the pressure on and maintain a constant streaming movement so as not to be easily stopped. And it can overly pressure your opponents, and as you can see from my brother's health, this is evident. Now on that note, Zhanhu's zone attack is undodgeable, so I like to use this when my opponent expects a guard break or an unblockable heavy. Along with it, Zhanhu has a dodging light and heavy. They both look identical, right? I'll show you. This is the dodge light, and this is the dodge heavy. They both look very similar, but there is a slight difference. The heavy and light both come from different swinging directions. No matter which way you dodge, the heavy and the light will always come from a different swinging direction. If I do a light, it comes from my right. If I do a heavy, it comes from my left. So, which one is better? Which one do you want to avoid? Like, how do you tell? Because quite often it's a guessing game. You don't know which way they're going to come from. So I'll tell you my strategy. If you're playing against a Zhanhu that's very dodge happy, what I like to do is prepare for the attack from the right. I like to anticipate a light attack. Why? Simple, because most assassins in the game do dodge lights anyway, like the Orochi, the Peacekeeper, sorry, not the Peacekeeper, the Berserker. So like these characters, I expect them to be instinctive. I can use their instinct to do a dodge light against them and prepare for the light. However, this isn't always guaranteed. Sometimes they will outwit me or outthink me, and thus just take what I say with a grain of salt. Now there are two more things to talk about with Zhanhu. After dodging a forward light, you have a dodging forward light, which is so fast it's almost impossible to prepare for. I mean, look at how fast that was. One more time. It's just so quick, and it's just it's such an easy tap, and it gives you access to the next part of the combo, if it lands. I love starting out a combo this way. That first attack is just so quick and easy to do. Finally, Zhanhu has a crushing counter. Now, this crushing counter maneuver is very difficult to pull off, but not so hard that you shouldn't try it out for yourself. It doesn't do any damage, but it does a little bit of stamina drain, and it can lead you into one of your unblockables, and I'll demonstrate when my brother attacks. You dodge into your opponent's attack and do a guard break. This move forces your forearm into your opponent's chest, knocking them back, and it opens you up for an attack. So one more time. I like to use this maneuver so that I can get my opponent off guard, but again, it's risky. Any crunching counter is a little risky because your timing has to be exact, and if it's not, then you're in trouble. Plus, your guard needs to meet their guard, so if my brother attacks from the top, I need to make sure my guard is at the top too. So, final thoughts on the Zhanhu. Well, you either love her or you hate her. It's that simple. I will say she's a very fluid and fun character to watch. The trick is to figure out how much pressure is too much pressure. If you get too aggressive, you drain your stamina fast and leave yourself exposed. But if you know when and how to end a combo, when to drop out of the unblockable heavy and when to guard break, you can throw your opponent off balance and get in some easy hits. Plus, until she's nerfed, I won't blame you for taking advantage of those unblockable lights. So, how about a quick duel?
石桥已被烽火炙烧，只因为你曾经走过，等待再见你的容颜。我是自由行走的花。我是自由行走的。是自由行走的花，啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦，我是自由行走的花。如果闭上眼看不清尘世真假难分了吧？如果放开手轻易转瞬，其实永远又在哪儿？世间爱与被爱，无论用多少年后，你在哪儿，永远并不远，前世来生的牵挂。啦啦啦啦啦，我是自由行走的花。
Okay, guys, that about wraps it up with the Zhanhu's moveset. Let's go ahead and dive into her few executions. Okay, folks, we're just about to wrap things up. Not a lot more to go with Zhanhu. We just got to talk about her executions now, and there are not a lot. Guys, whenever a new hero is dropped, they give them 4 executions to start with, and then with each new season, they give them a new one. And since she's the most recent hero, She's only got 5 executions, so we're going to go ahead and go through these. So let's see what she's got. Sunda's rule. Okay, very cool. Sunda is the name of the male, is the name of what the male Zhanhu is. Very cool. A couple problems with it. The first one is this jab to the gut is fine, but then doing this, so easily cutting off the arm, it's a little too easy. But then again, he's coming at her. He's swinging a punch, so it's possible that the two movements helped. So him swinging forward, her swinging forward at it, that could have helped. So I'll give it a pass, but understand that that's a little questionable. Rolling through it and then coming back up and jabbing right through the back. Very cool. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. This is very nice. I love the stylishness of it. And then, yeah, and the placement of the blade is definitely deadly. So that to me is an 8 out of 10. Very, very cool. Fu Huo's dominance.
I'm in danger.
Fu Huo is the name of the female Zhanhu, and it's probably a reference to Fu Hao, a wife of King Wu Ding during the Shang Dynasty. She was considered a skilled military strategist, leader, and possibly even a warrior. I'll show you an image of a statue of her. She was apparently a very skilled warrior, though we don't know too much about her. It's a good nod, though. As for the execution itself, well, stabbing into the chest, not bad. Kicking out the leg and then bringing down. The twist is a little hard to believe, but still very cool. I like that she swings her arm out like that she circles her arm like that. Gets momentum going. I like that. She's getting her body ready to do the twist. That's very cool. But I don't see how the blade twists the way it does. Notice it goes front into the chest, then it twists so that now the blade is in his side. Watch it. Into the chest, twist, and now she's pulling it out the side. That's a little questionable, but I'll give this a 7 out of 10 because honestly it's pretty cool. So 7 out of 10. What a waste. Okay, so this is awesome. Firstly, that block is beautiful. So knocks the arm aside and then does a strike to the chest to push them away. And then after that strike to the chest, strike through the middle, kick the leg out from under them, and then bring the blade down on their stomach to finish it. Very cool. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I think that fits very well. I think it's very fluid. It fits Zhanhu's style. And it's definitely deadly. I could see this as definitely being deadly from bleed out alone. And this initial block is so badass. Very, very cool. Yep, 10 out of 10. I like this one. Imperial Roll, or Imperial Toll. Okay, one more time. Kick to the chin, okay, strike the legs. I like the way she spins, the way she moves in a circle to build momentum. That's very good. Cutting off the head, again, I don't like constant decapitations, but considering the size of the sword and the momentum she built up, I might give that a pass. I also like the camera angle here. It's very cool. I like that. 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. This one's okay. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I don't want to hate on it. It's pretty cool. All right, nice. 8 out of 10. Graceful Expedient. Wait, what? One more time. All right, I'm going to have to press X to doubt on this one. So first, she cuts through the chest, cuts off the arm with such a single strike. This time he wasn't giving her the momentum. He wasn't swinging a punch at her. She just cuts it off with just a little flick, and that annoys me. And then the flip that she causes, look at this last flip that he does. That's not too hard to believe, but this, no. There's no way you built up enough force with that blade to make him do a flip through the air. Yeah, I don't buy that. This one is a 5 out of 10 for me. I think it's fluid. I think it's graceful. It's cool to watch. I think it's a nice execution. But there are two factors about it that are unbelievable. That cutting off of the arm and then that twisting flip. No, I don't buy that. That's a 5 out of 10. Sorry, Zhanhu. You had to have one that stunk, and that one was it. And unfortunately, guys, that's it. Yeah, I know, it's unfortunate. If y'all saw my last video, you know that I'm very disappointed in what was released in terms of executions. So that's it for Zhanhu in terms of executions. I thought that we'd have one more to go over, but nope. And I'll go ahead and say this while I'm on that subject. Let me say this: a couple people got on me saying, "Don't you understand that because of the coronavirus, it was very difficult for them to release new executions?" Look, I get some of that. I could understand that, and it's fine, okay? I'm not saying that For Honor is dead or dying because they didn't drop brand new executions for each individual hero. What I am saying is we've been patient with For Honor for a while, and for them to not really follow through with unique executions is very disappointing for a lot of us who were waiting for them. These executions that they released felt like emotes or the kind of executions you'd earn through a battle pass or an event execution set. They didn't feel like a new season setup execution set, which is what disappoints a lot of us. I'm not saying For Honor's dead, I'm saying that was disappointing. So just wanted to clear the air there. So final thoughts on Zhanhu, any last advice? Okay, so Zhanhu is going to get a rework. I'm almost certain of it, because if you saw the fighting video, she's got unblockable lights. She dodges like crazy. Her zone attack is undodgeable. She is a monster on the battlefield and very, very hard to beat, especially if you're a new player. So I do think that she will be nerfed a little. They'll change something about her. I don't think they'll take away her unblockable lights, because if they do, then she'll be too easy to beat, in my opinion. But regardless, I think she's a great hero. I think she's a great addition. And I still stand by what I said. I think she belongs as a Vanguard. I think that she belongs as the Wulin Vanguard, not a hybrid of defense and Vanguard, I guess. She's too good to be a simple hybrid. She's got to be a Vanguard. That sword is great for Vanguard usage. But the best thing to do with Zhanhu, in my opinion, mix it up. I know that I say this with a lot of heroes, but it rings true for Zhanhu more than anything. Mix it up. Don't always follow through with your unblockable heavies. Feint out of it and do a guard break, because you'll be surprised how many heroes fall for that. When you're doing a combo, like you're dodging back and forth and you're mixing in a zone attack, stop the combo briefly, because they're going to get very reactionary. They're going to react to a lot of what you do, and so they're going to expect, oh, here comes a zone attack or a dodge, I better dodge to this side, and then you can guard break them and catch them. When you play the game and force them to play your game, you win. If you play their game, they win. But that's all the heroes, guys, until the new hero drops. And even when the new hero drops, I'm going to want a little bit of time to get used to him and try him out before I do a video on him. So that's it for all the For Honor hero analysis, but I'm not done with this series yet, folks. I want to do more. And after a brief polling that I did on my other page on DeviantArt, a lot of people said that they wanted to hear me talk about what possible new factions For Honor could add. I mean, we added the Chinese Wulin faction. Could they perhaps add more factions? Well, next time, guys, I will talk to you about some possible factions I think For Honor could add, what kind of heroes and weapons we could see from those factions, and why they belong here. Other possible videos could include what kind of new heroes we could add to each faction, like what kind of new knights, Vikings, samurai, and Wulin we could add. I could do a run through of the campaign and talk about it realistically. I could talk about who would really win in a battle between these three factions, like what the real outcome would be, where these heroes are now, specific people in these factions, and different inspirations. I could do a lot of stuff, guys. Please let me know in the comments section what y'all thought of this series on the heroes. Let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you'd like to see done with this series next, now that we're done with most of the heroes. Give me your feedback, guys. I want to hear what y'all want to see, because I made this series for y'all. I made this for all you For Honor fans out there and all of you who are new to For Honor. So if you want to see something specific from this series, please let me know in the comments section. Look me up on DeviantArt. Guys, love you guys. Love this game. Despite what happened earlier this week, I still think this is a fantastic game. I think it is a wonderful game. There's nothing else like it. I'm going to keep playing it until it eventually dies, which I don't think is anytime soon. Alright guys, I'll see you next time with the next For Honor video.